Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Swerve and welcome back to another Jurassic World Evolution video. Today's video is going to be slightly on more of the tutorial based side of things, simply because I'm going to teach you how to sort of make something what I like to call as the swamps. Now what the swamps essentially is as you can see we have 3 Spinosaurids. You can probably do the same for Spinoraptor, but when I decided to come up with this enclosure idea, this was before the Spinoraptor came out, so you can tell I've had this enclosure idea for quite some time. But as you can see, we have the 3 non-hybrid Spinosaurids in the game. We'll release them in a minute, but today we're going to sort of show you how you can incorporate... No, I don't want to do that. We're going to incorporate all 3 of these Spinosaurids in one exhibit, but not have them fight, but essentially be 3 exhibits. If that makes any sense. I don't even know if that makes sense to you. But yeah, so getting straight into it, I just need to build a little bit more size because I underestimated the actual size that I want it to be. But yeah, so... getting into it, obviously the Spinosaurus you would prefer to have a concrete wall, but if you can't have a concrete wall, then obviously heavy steel fence is the next best idea. And I believe the Baryonyx is also fine having light steel fence. It depends if you make it comfortable or not. Ideally, I would say, because of all of these new wetland requirements, these enclosures do have to be a lot bigger now. But ideally, I would sort of make this in sandbox where you have no limits and pretty much everything's going to be fine, so you don't need to worry about dinosaurs breaking out and everything. But what you're going to want to do is find a big space. I'm going to sort of do it as, like, replicate it as best as I can to a degree where you can use it in your normal playthroughs as well. So what you want to do, I'll start off with a heavy steel fence. You want to keep it straight and try to keep it as straight as possible and go down by 3. Once you've gone down by 3, you go into your second quadrant here, which you'll want to try and find the middle. So you'll have to do this with the naked eye somehow, and sort of like try and find, I think that's pretty much the middle. I'm trying to like justify the length of how many fences there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be the middle right there. And then you want to do the same thing, add in 3, or 2 I think on one side and 2 on the other. Now the best way to sort of continue this, you want to try to get the 90-degree angle and get a 90-degree angle, and then start sort of curving. This is where it gets a little bit more difficult, so you got to like curve it to like the best part you can. Without it, see, as you can see, if you just keep it going like that, it doesn't really get the natural curve. So it is something that you're going to have to sort of watch out on. So I think if we experiment a little bit here, we could possibly try and get more of a curve on, but this is where I do tend to struggle, and I guarantee loads of you guys will start to struggle on this as well. But yeah, so even if it's just like you'll just have to sort of stretch out a little bit and then start curving, then yeah, that's the best I can probably do at the moment. It does get quite tricky, but the reason why we don't want it to be a perfect sort of circle is because we want it to be a little bit more elongated, so like we can have one enclosure bigger than the other. So as you can see, it's quite a small enclosure at the moment, if you were to ask me, and you are wondering why there may actually be currently 4 enclosures. The reason for this is because we're going to have to get rid of one of the enclosures. So yeah, as you can see, we sort of got like a circle going. What you want to do is go into the demolish tool, get rid of this. Now in an ideal world, it would sort of make more sense. Okay, this music's really annoying me right now. Settings, audio. Let's keep that on 80 and music down to 30. Thank you. Okay. So ideally you want to make this a little bit bigger. Maybe I didn't really do this the perfect size or the perfect height or anything really. It does get quite difficult, and this music is really tempting me to shut it all the way down. Wow. But yeah, so it does get quite difficult to sort of justify because there's not really exact measurements that you can have this enclosure to. It's all down to the naked eye in most perspectives. If you are able to find a measurement to sort of doing this, please let me know in the comment section down below, or let me know on Reddit. My Reddit is SwerveYT, user SwerveYT, and just tag me in one of your posts, or let me know in the DMs or anything like that. Same with Twitter at SwerveTS2 and Instagram at SwerveYT as well. Just let me know. But yeah, so currently we have, let's say, 3 exhibits. Ideally these should be bigger, but you want to justify which one is actually the smallest exhibit. So if we go here, I think that this one here might be the more smallest exhibit, but is the most rounded. So what we want to do, we'll want to get the Baryonyx out first, and we'll get him tranquilized. Thank you. And yeah, so then we'll start sort of designing these enclosures. So now we know that the Baryonyx is going to go in here, Suchomimus in here, and the Spinosaurus in here. Again, ideally these enclosures should technically be bigger, but again, it's mainly for a sandbox build. We'll want to just fill it all with water for now. Just make it all full of water. Don't worry about going around the outside. You can fill that in later. But here we are. So it's all currently in water, and doesn't really look like a nice thing. But what you want to do, go back onto this, and you want to go onto the remove section. And what I like to do is have a bit in the middle where all 3 enclosures meet. And then let's start designing this Baryonyx enclosure, for example. You just want to tap in random little places where it will start to add sort of like land, but you still make it like a swampy looking marsh. So as you can see, that's pretty much enough land. Again, the enclosure is quite small, so it doesn't give it as great just for what it should look like. But now that we've sort of expanded into this enclosure, we want to carry on expanding it. So we'll just expand it like this, like so. Try and get like really thin passage of water if you can, like this bit right here. You can see there's quite a thin passage of water. Just makes the enclosure look a lot nicer. So yeah, we can just continue adding some land into this area, and we've essentially got what it looks like a swampy land, but not swampy because there's still a little bit more we need doing. So let's fill in the outlines of this. Shouldn't take too long. We should be quite alright with it. Again, you don't really want to go into your exhibit, because the whole purpose of having your exhibit full of water is to have it right to the rim of the fences. So we'll try and do that, making sure that we stick to that raw. There we go. Again, you are going to get like odd looking things, but it adds like a nice little swamp area. Like, I'm going to say swamp quite often. I'm going to be honest, this video I'm going to say swamp quite often. But yeah, so we'll just go around the outside, the rest of the enclosure. Lovely. There we go. Sometimes I do see that instead of holding down, like clicking, as you can see here, it sort of makes it a lot easier for... Okay, I get it. Is a lot easier for like I was going to say transport, but for like more fine and adjust movements, as you can see. Again, you don't have to go around the whole outside if you don't want to. I'm only doing it just in case I do put like viewing platforms. They're a lot easier to put around the outside, so I'm probably going to leave those and not put viewing platforms there. But as you can see, it's a little bit more swampy of an area. But one thing that swamps have quite often are trees. So again, why I left a good amount of space here in the middle is to sort of like differentiate the enclosures together by putting trees. So they can technically all meet up in one area in this tri-point, but I like to sort of keep them more away from each other. So we'll just put like quite a few amount of trees, but we would want to put quite a few amount of trees simply because this is more of a swamp sort of looking area. So currently we've got the Spinosaurus exhibit going. Try and put loads of trees in the water, because in swamps that's where trees tend to grow. So yeah, there we go. Again, it's going to be quite hard to sort of deal with the new sort of wetland requirements for the Spinosaurids, because when I did sort of come up with this exhibit idea, it was technically really bare bones. I think it was like update 1.4 where we just got the new sandbox updates, so it was quite bare bones, but now we can sort of decorate our enclosures a lot more with new sort of trees and all of that. But yeah, so thankfully with the new updates we can start adding in all of these, which I think adding all of them is probably the best thing to do. You'll definitely, if you don't want to add all of them, I definitely say add crag and coastal, because what they give off is a really swampy vibe and a swampy feel, simply because they're everywhere, let's be honest. But I personally like to add as much as I can, because swamps just have a load of junk in there, so it would mean quite a lot to sort of like add to the natural nature, if that's even English. But yeah, so we'll just add all of them into the Spinosaurus exhibit, and we'll try and justify from here. So again, a swampy marshland does sort of make sense. You can probably make this exhibit like huge, to be honest. If you're able to make like huge circles, I 100% recommend to go for it. Like it does make sense in my eyes. But yeah, let's continue. Not decorating, but like filling in these enclosures. Just so it's more marshy and enjoyable to watch and look at. Before I decorate the enclosures with like I don't know, like rocks and all of that, I would recommend putting down your exhibit viewing platforms and all of that firstly. Depends how you want to view them. Simply because if you do put like a rock here that's away from the fence, you can't put another viewing platform. It's the same with the water, so sometimes it does get a bit difficult to add some stuff. So did it click there? I don't know. Yeah, but as you can see, it's pretty much all in water the whole way around. So sometimes it is probably better for you to sort of add these things in later or earlier in before you start building the water around the exhibit. So as you can see, I can't fit it around anywhere on the fence. So it does make sense to sort of just add them here, because if we were to add it here, and technically we can see around the whole way of the exhibit. And then maybe on one side, add one of these, and on the other side we can add another. So technically it gives us full coverage of the exhibits. Again, because of how swampy and how many trees there are, and wow, the game sounds really loud. But because of how many trees there are, it is quite difficult to see the dinosaurs. But that's the whole point, to get like a swampy, scary vibe and feel about it. So we'll get this Suchomimus out, and then we'll get the Spinosaurus out at the same time. But as you can see, the Baryonyx, will it enjoy its exhibit? I don't know. I think it relatively will. I think towards the end I'll put on all of the requirements, and we'll see if the dinosaurs actually are happy with having this small exhibit. Ideally they should be a bit bigger, just to be more, just be more comfortable with your dinosaurs in their natural habitat. But yeah, so is this Spinosaurus Suchomimus? It is. So I'll move the Sucho over, get the Spino out. Hell yeah, I love that roar. So we'll get the ACU tranquilizing him. But what I like about the Spinosaurus, and why I do recommend to have it bigger, is because of the fact that you can have two Spinosauruses in one exhibit. And what I have actually just realized from the update as well that we got, we can put fish feeders now. So if you want to sort of make a dedicated area, there we go. And fish feeders go in swamps. Like, look how amazing that is. So if you want to add fish feeders, go ahead. I think it'll look even better, because I think they're the only feeders that actually you can put in your exhibit, and it won't get rid of like the trees around it. I'm trying to find somewhere for this. No, we've only had space for the Spinosaurus one. But yeah, so adding fish feeders could be a big game changer, because look at that. I like the fact that it blends in, sort of. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Thank you. Yeah, the fish will still swim around in there and they'll still be happy about it. So let's move this Spinosaurus in, and we should almost be done. Okay, yeah, I know. It's because I started the sandbox again. But yeah, as you can see, lovely. One side should be viewing that side, so when you're on the left-hand side of this viewing gallery, you can view that side. When you're on the right-hand side, you can view the Baryonyx. You could probably bring this a little bit more closer, but the Baryonyx should be, there we go. So yeah, it looks nice in its natural habitat, and you have these three Spinosaurids in one area, for instance. And what we can pretty much do is, it's just going to be rough, it doesn't have to be exact, but you can sort of like put paving, however you want to say it. Why did I click on that? all around the exhibit. So it's like an exhibit enclosed with paths. There we go. There we go. And there we go. And then around the outside, you could probably add a bit of forest to set the scene of what can be viewed. And yeah, so you just set the scene of this sort of like swampy marshland area, so people know what they're going to be viewing if they come into this area. You can just enclose it into its own area as well, with trees. And yeah, as you can see, it pretty much blends into the natural habitat with this swampy marsh. With these, I'm not quite sure how they'd work. Again, it's just like a matter of fact of just increasing your view radius. So if we go onto the management view, and okay, well, it's not connected up to paths, which I can probably do now quickly. So if we go onto management view, you can see that pretty much all of the enclosures are covered. You could probably add another viewing platform here to cover this bit here, but it's not high necessarily need. For this, you can view 2 dinosaurs. For this, you can view probably all 3, and same with this one. So it's quite nice to sort of see it all work out. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's the swamps. You can see they are enjoying the exhibit a little bit, I think. Are you enjoying it? I can't tell. You're staring down at Baryonyx. Okay, we'll go into sandbox settings, and we'll look for dinosaur social requirements. Normaled, population normaled, habitat normal, and we'll apply it, and we'll look at the dinosaurs. So yeah, so this is definitely going to be too small for the Spinosaurus, so you would want a bit bigger. For the Baryonyx, yeah, just a little bit bigger for the Baryonyx, and I think it's going to be the same for the Suchomimus. Yeah, it's the same for the Suchomimus. So you'll kind of want much bigger than how I've done it here. So instead of doing it 3 across, probably do like 4 and then go from the middle, 4 across and 4 across, and then it'll probably be easier to sort of connect up the paths that way. But if you find another way to make it, let me know in the comment section down below. You're free to design this the way you want to design it. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have enjoyed today's video, let's give it... Thanks for that. If you have enjoyed today's video, and it does give you sort of like new credibility of trying to work things out and making new enclosures, or gave you a new idea for a new enclosure, make sure to let me know down in the comment section down below and smash that like button. And if you're brand new to the channel and you enjoy Jurassic World Evolution and tutorials and all of this good stuff, make sure to subscribe, because we're on our way to 8,000 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough for the recent support I'm having on just these gameplay videos. I really do enjoy making them, and it's really nice and relaxing just to be able to play. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. Obviously, like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. It's been Swerve, and peace out.